Well, we have another game here between me, Lekkit, and Johan Bizze.
One of our other top players here in Stockholm.
Yeah, the former Swedish champion. He has been boasting a lot in the chat about his skills.
And to be honest, yes, Bizze, you are a good player. We
Yeah.
just like to make fun of you when you actually do something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. The bigger you are, the harder you fall.
Yeah.
Um,
And this was actually a really interesting game. It was quite long, but I actually enjoyed the part of it which I actually got to see.
yeah, and while it's not as good as our rematch in the semifinals, I think this is a very, very good limited game.
Yeah.
So we see here a slow start for me. I don't do anything, and he plays a heist planner turn 1, which is always good in limited. I respond by drawing a card, and I think I drew the backdoor brigand there.
Which is actually golden for a combo you play.
Yeah. So what I think Bizze picks here is the War Beast.
Yeah, I would pick the War Beast, Clockman, and most likely some other removal. Or
Yeah,
a big character.
I think he picks the War Beast.
Deadly.
No, he doesn't actually pick Deadly.
Oh.
Which I find kind of weird.
He might have a removal for it, so.
Yeah,
Or he wants to steal it.
Yeah, because I know he runs one rapine, and actually in the semifinals, I had Mr. Fetch out so I could search for characters. I searched for some other characters before I searched the Deadly Strikers because I didn't want him to rapine it because I was a 3 influence.
Yeah. So the moment he did that, you would have lost.
Yeah. So he takes a banana peel, anesthetizing opulence, and the War Beast.
Yeah. So you're down a lot of removal in the deck, and one of your biggest characters are gone.
Yeah, but I still have tons of removal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, you can't get enough removal.
Mainly also your combo that you got was really nice to have during limited.
Yep, it was.
Let's see, and there's some discussion about bringing out the life as well.
Yeah. So here we have the influence.
From the official Spoils app.
Yeah, exactly. So I start by playing another greed. Always good to play the greed.
Yeah, I actually found that interesting that you played 2 colors in your deck, since mostly when you actually play limited, you have a tendency to just start a color or start 2 colors and then play one thing in the entire deck.
Yeah.
Also, haven't you been able to go mono during some games? Like you start one rage just to play the War Beast and then go mono greed?
Yeah, but that's draft, not
yeah, it's not
sealed. During draft, you can get like, or other. It's easier to get one thresh in one trade than some other trade. It depends on what the others pick.
Yeah, and here we see the elusive wolf. It's a fine card for 4 since it has 2 life, 2 strength. The thing is that if you start with the deception, it's not gonna be utilized as much as you'd want to, since you can remove a token from it to make it covert. But it only gains tokens when you destroy a deception.
Yeah, and since Bizze starts with 2 deception, I'm figuring he's not likely going to do that, except for the finishing blow.
Yeah. I've actually started 2 deception one time and blown one of them up, since I, at that point, had counted some of my cards, and I knew that I had 2 cards in my entire deck that was to threshold, so I was like, yeah, fine, I can blow one up, since I've already played all those cards.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes you don't actually need the...
but it's something that you have to keep check on, since it's not something you do willy nilly.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's and you're also going back resources, so which is bad.
Yeah.
Especially in the early game, but also in the late game if you do it too much.
Yeah. My let's see, elusive wolf though swung for game at that time, so I was fine with it.
Yeah. So here I actually flip down the Bacter Brigand.
Which surprises me.
Yeah, in hindsight, it surprises me as well. But then I get a lot of resources. I think I might play something for 7 here.
Yeah. Why didn't you attack during your turn? When he was tapped out.
I don't, because I played the Bacter Brigand, and then on the next turn I flipped it down.
Yeah.
So I play a Duck Sentinel, and that's why I flipped it down.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and now it makes more sense. Duh!
Yeah, getting the Doc Sentinel, which at this point he's 5/4/4, right?
Yep.
So he's most likely going to beat anything into a pulp at this point, since there's not a lot of characters that can actually survive 5 damage in these sets.
Yeah.
There are some banker characters, but that's about it.
Yeah, and they're mostly, more late game than this. So he attacks with the elusive wolf. I'm thinking he might have a dragon juice.
Or a snake eyes or something.
Yeah.
But since he is attacking with elusive wolf, and well, we feel that it's something fishy about it, at least.
Yeah, so I actually don't block. And in hindsight, I probably should have done, since I don't think he had any of those cards in his hand.
Actually, he has an eye gouge, so right. Sentinel would have died.
So I was right to make that call.
Yeah.
But then again,
you shouldn't play on what you think might be luck.
Well, you might expect that he has something that he hasn't, but in the end it could just be because it's just bad play to attack with the wolf unless you have something, and that's why you can do it without having something, because
people get freaked out.
Yeah. But I actually have a lot of removal in my hand. I have 2 removal cards, I think.
Yeah, also you have Splat. No, Caltrops, right? At this point.
but I don't have the threshold for it.
Oh, right, you don't have Rage at this point. That's why you haven't played it yet and killed his field.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why you were drawing a lot. That's actually me in the background, standing there watching the game and wondering why you're not playing the Caltrops combo.
So I play the Contractual Execution
on the
Impulsive Abductress.
Yeah.
Since I want to get rid of that to be able to block and attack.
Yeah. She's expensive, but she does give you sort of field control, since your opponent won't attack or block with certain characters since they want them to stay alive.
Yeah, exactly. And I played the Totally Random Kid, which can't block his elusive wolf very good, but he can't attack with his heist planner for as long as the kid remains restored.
Exactly.
Unless he plays the eye gouge, which I'm not sure he has in his hand anymore.
No, but it also seems redundant to play eye gouge on.
Yeah, on a 1/1.
Yeah.
So yep. So the Totally Random Kid I think it's a fine play.
Yeah.
And it leaves me with 3 resources open to draw a card.
Yeah. I would actually have liked to see Total Random Kid being able to discard more cards. That it would be like X times 2 or something like that.
Well, if
it might have broken it.
Yeah, because if you attack with him, play Dragon Juice, and you basically discard a fourth of their deck. That's quite insane.
Yeah. But it's a fine card since it has 4 speed, but at the moment it's sort of like a gutter snipe.
Yeah, I think it's a gutter snipe with some benefits, but without flip up and without tactical.
Yeah. Either way, you play a resource and no rage yet.
No rage still.
But you have 9 resources, so you can draw into it with the first card and play it.
Yep.
And also
and there we saw that I actually drew the rage.
So I'm guessing you're considering now if you want to pay for to play the resource to be able to play the caltrops.
Yeah, but I think I decide not to do it and rather end my turn.
Huh.
Because I
Feel paranoid.
I think it was mainly a tempo thing. Playing the caltrops would leave it open to
removal,
to item removal.
Oh yeah, since you then wouldn't have enough resources to actually pay to attach it to your resource row when he destroys it.
Yeah, exactly. And caltrops is, as you can see from his field and the character that is played earlier, the Impulsive Abductors, he has a lot of 2 life or less guys.
Yeah. So it's really golden for you to actually keep it on the field. But we don't want to see that item removal. Oh well, Bizze don't want to see that item removal. And he plays a bloated Basque. At this point, it's a good character since he has 4 strength. It's not going to do anything against the 4 life, 4 speed characters. But it's, well, it works to just be there as a detergent to attack with Totally Random Kid.
Yeah.
But you gain your threshold and you play caltrops.
Yep. Caltrops, a very good card in Limited, especially against this type of aggressive deck with a lot of characters with low life that Bizze is playing.
Yeah.
So I kill the Parkour Hoodlum.
Since it has 3 strength and thereby can chop block the Dock Sentinel. There's a little thinking going on. And you pay 3 to play Backdoor Brigand.
Yep. And here's the wombo combo of my deck. I attach the caltrops to the Brigand and I flip them both down.
And then pay the 2 resources you gain from that to
play a caltrops.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Most likely.
Yeah. So, and I think I'll kill off the elusive wolf here. Yeah.
Yeah. So for a total cost of 5, right? You get to keep reusing the caltrops. No, 7.
Yeah. It's costly, but it's endless removal.
Yeah.
Which is always good. And I can split the cost up. It's not like I have to pay 7. I can pay like 3 here and 2 there and 1 there.
Yeah. And at this point, you also have enough resources to save the caltrops, since if he would play anything against it, you can just flip it down again, actually helping you.
Yeah. So
Bizze is drawing a lot of cards. I'm guessing that he's actually looking for a character or removal that can handle the Dock Sentinel, since his bloated Bass can handle all the other characters that you have.
Yeah. And I start with a face down, as usual.
Since I've heard that face downs actually do something in these games.
Yeah.
And you play your Backdoor Brigand.
Yep. Always a nice guy.
So we have a slight idea of what might be happening next.
Yeah. I am holding 2 resources, perhaps, to attach the caltrops to the Brigand.
Pay 1.
And I flip them down.
And pay 2 to play it.
Yep.
And Bizze just assumes that you picked the Heist Planner.
No, I think I actually said I picked the Heist Planner.
That's what you get for not playing this with audio.
Yeah, exactly.
And you attack with the Dock Sentinel for the first time since like round 4. Well, turn 4.
Yeah.
And he takes 5 damage.
So I'm in the lead.
Indeed, you are. Also, you have field control at this point.
Yeah, with the endless Caltrops loop and a Dock Sentinel, which is a very big character. So even if he gets the threshold for his Basque, I can easily take the damage and then hit him back. And we see I have the remains of Foreman Pete, the Clockman, in my hand. And I think I saw a contractual execution face down. So I have more removal available. Yeah. And I think I actually at one point picked that up.
You also have a removal in your hand, which I believe you do play now.
Yeah, so here he plays a Poison Blade on the Basque. I have no idea why he does that.
I actually believe I do. He plays it since he has a Rapine in his hand. And he wants to destroy the Poison Blade instead of the character.
Oh, right.
But you play removal on the character, so it's not really gonna matter for him at this point. He might as well play Rapine on the Bloated Basque. Otherwise, both characters, both the character and the item is going to get destroyed. And he picks your Dock Sentinel.
Oh, okay.
With Rapine.
Yeah. Well, no big surprise there.
No.
But I still don't get why he'd play the Poison Blade before combat.
No, that I don't understand either.
Because either I was going to play removal on his guy, or I would have blocked, or nothing would have happened. And
then he could have played the Poison Blade on one of your characters and destroyed it from there.
Yeah.
But personally,
or he could have just rapined the Basque in response, and he would have had the Poison Blade in his hand.
Yeah, I personally thought at that moment that I would have done the same, since the pacing of the game. But I agree with you; it would have been a better play to attack first and then play the Rapine since you used removal on it, or when it gets destroyed during combat.
Yeah, perhaps some of you guys out there might see a scenario where playing the Poison Blade is
better.
And feel free to tell us.
Yeah.
Because as it stands now, I don't see how that was the correct play.
Either way, I would have done the same at that moment since I'm actually standing there watching the game.
Yeah.
And we see you looking at your face downs, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are.
And you pay 2 to use Clockman's ability to put a card into your hand, and then you swing away with totally random kid.
Yep.
Which at this point can
he's random.
Yeah. And you mill 1 card from Bizze's deck, which is a Rage.
Ooh.
At this point, Rage doesn't really do much in his deck, since
no,
he doesn't have any more Bloated Basque.
Yeah, so that was actually helping him.
Yeah.
But then again, at some point, his deck might run out.
Yeah. And we're just, hoping it's not too soon. But he keeps drawing into Rage, so I get that he might be a little frustrated at this point. But he swings away with the Dock Sentinel. Big surprise. It's the correct play.
And actually, here we see another thing. Especially in Shade, especially against Banker, you want to pay with your face downs first. Mainly because of these cards, but also because of flip ups. It's true for the seed block as well, where you have Noble Sacrifice and such things that has flip up for 0. So you want to actually use those resources first. Because here he tries to pay 3 with his face downs to draw a card, but he has to pick a resource first
to put into his hand.
Yeah, since it's a part of the cost.
Yeah, and this is actually the most optimal occasion to actually play that removal, since you get a resource, and you get a character back. He loses a resource and loses a character.
Yeah, especially since I can pick it back up with the Clockman.
Yeah.
So picking up that contractual execution from my resources was actually
the
quite
most
good.
optimal
Yeah,
thing you could do.
I think it was a good play. So he picks up one of the unused face downs because he wanted that more than a hammer smash. That was the face down that he had.
What
Uh,
card was it that he picked up? Since personally,
I'm assuming the Impulsive Abductress.
oh right, yeah. I think I would have picked Hammer Smash, and
Yeah.
then when you try to draw a card at the end of your turn, now play Hammer Smash and kill your Caltrops.
Well, actually, that wouldn't have done anything because I could have flipped down the.
No, in response to you drawing a card, but you didn't draw a card. You used.
Yeah, but still, I could have flipped down the Clockman.
Yeah, but the thing is,
in response.
Oh right, it would have cost you. The Clockman would have given you 2 resources.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a nice idea, though.
Yeah, but he was thinking about. Oh, and here I mill his
Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes, which is always good. Get rid of that removal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it after the game, and he said he might have that he might think that picking the Hammer Smash and actually killing the
Clockman.
The Clockman would have been the right choice. He didn't though because I could just flip it down, but he'd still get rid of the Clockman.
Yeah.
Which
would have helped him tremendously.
Yeah, since I couldn't pick up my guys and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of card drawing, and since the Sentinel is back on the field, there's a lot of pressure on Bizze to actually put out blockers or have any removal for him.
Yeah. But as we know, he has the Impulsive Abductress, and I think he plays it at some point.
Well, he plays it at some point, but at this point, he draws a card. Oh,
Yep.
right. Yeah, since he now also gets the Pillaging Pirate.
Yep, so Pillaging Pirate hits the field.
And you get to middle 2 cards.
Yep, always unfun.
Yeah.
So he hits a Rage and a Red Raven.
Not really cards that do much good in your deck.
No, exactly. I have... I only have 1 Threshold Rage, so I could use the second Rage there.
Yeah.
But the Red Raven was basically a character that I picked. I have no cards that
combo with it.
Yeah, I have no flipping coin cards. In one game, my opponent played a card that flipped a coin, so I got a token on it. But besides that, I needed more characters, so I picked a 2/2/3 for 3.
Yeah, and we noticed that Bizze, I believe he has Ambuscade in his hand, which he's actually pushing up a little bit, being ready to use there.
Yeah.
You have a poker tail, Bizze.
Yeah.
And you pay 2 to attach Caltrops to your Backdoor Brigand, pay 2 to play the Caltrops.
Yeah, pay 1 to flip it down first.
Yeah, but still, you're going to be able to kill off most of his characters.
Yeah, and of course I take the Pillaging Pirate.
Since it's speed 4. And you might actually, at this point, you have enough resources to play the Backdoor Brigand and attach the Caltrops to it, but you don't have enough resources to flip it down. Or, well, if you use the Clockman Pete.
Yeah, which I don't want to.
No. But at this point, it's just more efficient for you to attack. But he plays Ambuscade and kills your Doc's Sentinel.
Yeah.
Which was long overdue.
Yeah, and actually that's... I'm quite fine with that. He used...
removal to get rid of Doc's Sentinel.
And I think I actually used the Caltrops.
Yeah, to get
response. And then I attack with Totally Random Kid.
And you mill another card.
Yeah, so I hit a guy, which is always good. At this point, I think Bizze has enough rage for him to be 4/2.
No, he doesn't. He still only has 5, if I remember correctly. But he has a Hasty Sarcophile, so actually he's going to perform quite well against the caltrops, and you can block your speed for characters.
Yeah, since I basically have to flip up the caltrops twice to kill him.
Yeah, since you can't kill him in combat.
Yeah, since he's speed 5, which is good.
And you started by drawing a card, then restoring. Something that new players sometimes have an issue with, remembering that you can always pick when you want to restore. So you can have triggers that trigger of cost and paying stuff. So you can play a resource, pay the cost, like accumulation magic. Pay its one cost, then restore and have all your resources left.
Yeah, exactly. And it sometimes confuses players. I don't know why, but for some reason I always do the start of the game triggers in
reverse.
Yeah, no, rather in weird orders. So
so
usually I actually tell that at the start of my turn I'll either play a resource or draw a card, and then I'll restore, or I say I restore and then just to be clear.
Since during most occasions it's actually better to do the other triggers before you restore your resources.
That depends.
Well, fine. It depends.
You have the manifest cycle cards that you sometimes want to restore before you bring them up, or sometimes you want to restore after you bring them up. So, ordering your triggers is actually
very important.
Yeah.
And you play your fat banker dude that can deplete and give a character 2 life.
Yeah, Pinguid Bodyguard. But I don't, even though I can block with the Pinguid Bodyguard, buff his life, survive the Hasty Sarcophile, and kill him.
Yeah.
I probably won't, since he has the Impulsive Abductress, and I prefer to have my Pinguid Bodyguard left. So 3 damage is fine by me. Even 8 would have been fine if you had the Dragon Juice.
Yeah. And you're still in the lead, so.
Yeah, I'm still in the lead, and during my turn I can play the Caltrops to get rid of the Impulsive Abductress.
So this is most likely just looking to get rid of it as fast as he can. I believe he actually curses himself for playing it this early.
Yeah, because he realized that, oh well,
I'm not gonna get any use for it. So I think he pays 1 for... Or, well, he considers paying 1 for, well, the burning building thingy. Conflagration.
Yeah. The conflagration, confrontation, or whatever it's called.
Which would have been a good play, according to me, since he would have done 2 damage to totally random kid, but you would have... Oh, right. Nothing would have happened, since you would have just given him extra life. So what happens is more or less he pays his Impulsive Abductress, and you pay 2 for your Caltrops and kills it.
Yeah. And here he wants to respond by playing the Conflagration.
Which only can be played during his turn.
Yeah. As opposed to Fist Fight, which can be played on both your and your opponent's turn, but not during combat. And that card could not be played during combat as well.
No. Also, the Fist Fight would be more expensive, since it costs 3 to flip up.
Yeah. I actually like Fist Fight.
I like Fist Fight.
I think it's a very fun card.
Yeah, it makes... Well, it's interesting to play it.
Yeah. However, it's very confusing to play both Fist Fight and the Conflagrous Confrontation.
Yeah, since they're so much alike, but their flip-ups are reversed.
Yeah, and the restrictions are also weird.
Yeah.
One, or you can play neither during combat, but one you can play during your opponent's turn, the other you can't. I attack with the random kid and mill his Scout, which I'm actually very happy about. Yeah, another 3-lifer, which is also 4 speed.
Yeah, which also would have given him the opportunity to attack in a party and actually be able to kill both your Brownie Bodyguard and... No, wait, not Brownie Bodyguard. Well, the banker dude and your totally random kid.
Yeah.
Even if he would have buffed one of their lives.
Yeah.
He draws into a Phabasite.
Yeah,
And,
Thabashite Assailant.
and I believe he's... Well, he starts by playing a resource.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't play it as a face-up. I guess he has all the resources that he needs.
Well,
and just has a War Beast.
Yeah, I know for a fact that he has a War Beast.
Spoilers!
I'm not sure we see it this game, but I know he has a War Beast.
Yeah, in that case, it's perfectly understandable that he plays it face down.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure why he played all the other rage face up.
I believe he played all the other cards face up when he had Bloating Bask.
Well, the Bloating Bask died very early.
Yeah, but he hasn't played any more rage since Bloating Bask died.
Well, you might be right. Either way, playing resources face down is always good. I'm always for playing resources face down. In my deck, I need 2 rage threshold to play most of the cards, and then I had a fist fight. But most of the games I started playing my 3rd rage and later rage face down because I preferred the face downs over the ability to play fist fight from my hand rather than from flip up.
Which is understandable.
Yep, and I do the Caltrops thing again, flipping it down.
Quite a cost-effective combo, especially in this part of the game.
Yeah, and here I draw Poison Blade, which doesn't do me anything at this point.
Since his Hasty Sarcophile is really whoosh.
Yeah, and also his Thabashite Assailant, which has the same stats, because the 1 instead of 5.
Yeah.
It's also very good. It's more susceptible to bug bites, and, well, muddle bugs if you play with Seed.
Yeah.
But I think bug bites is the only weakness that Assailant has over Hasty Sarcophile.
Yeah.
In this format.
Yeah.
So I play the Caltrops.
Yeah, big surprise. It's gonna be really expensive if you want to be able to kill both characters, or well, one of the characters. I mean.
Yeah, but I think I'm actually going for one of the characters here.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
I think it was the Hasty Sarcophile, since even though I don't have any bug bites, I might have bug bites, and
it's better to play as if you do.
Yeah, because otherwise I'll be giving my opponent information that I don't want him to have.
No.
A funny thing actually was that during I think it was my first game, I had at one point a Deadly Striker and a Torrential Bleeder in my hand.
Yep.
And Bizze was done with his game, so he came and looked at ours, and he looked at my hand and said, "Whoa, you're playing constructed." And he thought that my Torrential Bleeder was a second Deadly Striker. So during both this game and in our semifinals, he was talking about my 2 Deadly Strikers, and he planned for my 2 Deadly Strikers, which I didn't have, and of course I didn't correct him. I told him after we played our semifinal games that I only had 1 Deadly Striker.
It made his plays very defensive during the semi-final, but I don't think it would have mattered that much if he played a little more aggressive. But
if he would have played a little bit more aggressive, he might have won, because I was at 3 influence.
Oh,
and
right.
I went down to 3 influence before I actually did any damage to him.
Oh.
Unfortunately, we didn't get that game on camera. We got another quite boring game instead.
Which most likely isn't going to make itself appear here on YouTube.
Yeah. But the semifinal game against Bizze is probably the best game of Limited I've ever played. It was very, very cool. Not many misplays at all.
Yeah.
And it came down to the wire. I think I had 3 characters left in total, with the deck drawn out.
Yeah.
And Bizze ran out of characters, so at that point I won.
Yeah. You block with your Phabasite Assailant, and you... no. Bizze blocks with a Phagocyte Assailant when Lekkit attacks, and he then plays the Sudden Osprey to give his Phagocyte Assailant more strength and also more life. Being able to kill off the bodyguard, which can't deplete itself and give itself more life since it's attacking.
Yeah, exactly.
So he gains field control at this point, since the Caltrop fine can kill the Phagocyte, but it's going to cost you a lot.
Yeah, I think more likely I'm going to kill the Osprey.
Yeah. Since you can... Alright, Osprey has 2 life.
Yeah.
I was
However,
like, why are you not blocking this?
however, it doesn't come down to that, because I think this is where he plays his Shriver attack.
Yeah, I believe so as well. And thereby killing your...
My totally random kid.
Yeah. And his Sudden Osprey.
Yeah.
I was okay with him killing the totally random kid, but I believe that he should have waited 1 turn.
Oh, and this is hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
He plays a Sticky Steely hand on my Caltrops to prevent me from flipping it down.
Yeah. So we flip a coin.
Yeah, so we flip a coin. Bizze goes for high. He gets a 3, so it's returned to his hand. He pays 2. Once again.
Says high. Doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Once again, says high.
3rd time, says high. So at this
4th
time,
he says low.
Yeah, he changes to low, and 10 is low. So
so he actually gets, he steals the Caltrops.
Yeah.
And thereby also locking down your loop, which you had with it.
Yep.
So at this point, Bizze actually has a little more advantage than you.
So
if we go by the cards on the table, we know that you have removal face down. So
no, I'm not sure I have any removal face down, but I have I have a Deadly Striker face down. I have a Torrential Bleeder. I also have the Brigand, which can block his assailant, and I can flip it down. Then
you can do a lot of nasty stuff.
Yep.
You put Poison Blade on Befuddling Beggar.
Yeah, Befuddling Beggar with Poison Blade is actually very hard to get through.
Yeah, since you can deplete it during combat, make it speed 5, and he can just poke at the Phagocyte Assailant, and then just move the Poison Blade to Warrior Prodigy.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bizze actually has gotten a lot of characters in his hand at this point, so he plays the War Beast, which I believe is 6/6, and he also plays the standard character, which is a 2/2.
Yeah, the headlong Purloiner.
Yeah, and you pay a lot to draw cards, since Bizze is done with his turn.
And at this point, I have a Rage.
Oh wait,
in my hand.
No, he's not done with his turn. He's attacking with Phagocyte Assailant.
No, I actually took the damage from that. So.
All right.
And I pay 2 to discard a resource and draw a card.
Yeah. And you pay 2 to discard a resource and draw a card.
Yep. Which nets me a Union Leader, I think.
Yeah. Which is, at this point, going to help you quite a lot, since Bizze can't really attack unless he plays a lot of resources and kill it with the War Beast.
Yeah, and I have a lot of resources. So at this point, I actually drew a card at the start of my turn. I got the Raging Bask.
Yeah. Also, we could see that you also have Eye Gouge in your hand. So if anything would block the Befuddling Beggar if you attack with that for some reason.
Yeah, but I won't attack with it. I need it for blocks.
Yeah. And you pay 7 to play the Union Leader, and then 5 to play 6 to play the
Raging Bask.
Which is quite good at limited, since those influence are really crucial here, since there's not a lot of last turns. There are a lot of last turns, so it can always swing in for that last 4 damage, and there's nothing to opponent can do
And
about
also
it.
most of the characters in limited aren't as cost effective as the ones you pick to build your constructed decks with.
No.
Uh,
We can't all be conscientious objector.
yeah, exactly. So here he plays
Battle-ready backbreaker.
Yep. So he gets to deplete one of my characters.
Picking the Union Leader, which I actually agree with that choice, since now he can just swing away in a party with, let's see, what are those guys called? Warbeast and Fabicide. The Fabicide family.
Yeah, exactly. The Thabashite guys that cares about volition.
Yeah. And he attacks in a party, so if you block, he's most likely going to kill a character in speed 4. Speed 5 even. But if you block with Raging Bask, you're going to be able to kill the Fabicide assailant unless he has removal.
Which I actually think he has. I think he has Eye Gouge.
I believe so as well. Either way, you're not going to be able to block efficiently, but you can't really just say fine.
No, because together they deal
enough.
Yep.
For game.
They deal 9 damage, I think.
I believe so as well.
Pretty exactly.
So you decide to actually block as a party?
Yeah, because I'm worried about removal.
Yeah.
Since
any removal will win him the game.
Yep.
Unless you do just this.
Yeah, so I block with 2 characters.
And big surprise, we see the removal. As soon as he pays for it.
Yeah.
There's a little question about refreshing the memory on Poison Blade, that you can move it to another character that's not in battle if you deplete it. Personally, I didn't think it would actually matter, since if he plays the removal on Befuddling Beggar, you would still be able to wouldn't be able to move it to, well, pretty much anything else.
Yeah.
Well,
and here
that would be efficient, at least.
Yeah. And I used the Befuddling Beggar's ability to actually lower the assailant's speed. I'm not sure. I could have raised my own speed. But then he plays the Eye Gouge. I don't want to move the Poison Blade to anything. And the Warbeast gets through for 6 damage.
Exactly. And he has 2 characters left which can attack.
No, the Backbreaker.
Oh, right. The Backbreaker can't attack, and there's no point in attacking with a Prolonger. So I believe he's going to pass the turn, since we can see as a drive-by boobing in his hand. So he's going to be able to remove your Raging Bask if you attack with it and assign damage to your faction.
Yep.
And not
or
a blocking character.
Yeah, or the Union Leader.
Yeah, exactly. And he can actually survive taking both their damages. So he shouldn't...
yeah, so most likely, unless I get some kind of removal, I probably won't.
Which is very true.
I probably won't attack.
Yeah. And he starts looking at his resources, since his removal that he has face down can only be played during his turn. And I believe that's what he's actually thinking about at this point, since he doesn't really want you to attack with your characters. But
then the only thing he can actually do with that is destroy the Warbeast.
Yeah, exactly.
And that can only kill the Raging Bask.
Yeah. So he passes the turn at least. But he checks his options.
Yeah, and I start by drawing a card.
Yeah.
Because I have Eye Gouge, which I prefer to have there.
Yeah, big surprise. And also you draw your Tripwire. So he can't attack in the same manner with Fabicide Assailant anymore. Since the Tripwire can just inflict 3 damage to it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and also...
Worth pointing out.
I have some stuff going on. I just remembered how this game goes along. So I attack with the Raging Basque, and
All sneaky like.
yeah,
And Bizze is going to take 4 damage,
Yep.
even if he blocks. So it decides not to, since then he has more characters to block the Union.
yeah, exactly.
He could have blocked with both characters and killed the Raging Basque, but it's more likely that you then would have assigned 2 damage to each the blocking characters and killed them both.
Yeah. I'm not actually sure. No, if since I know what's going to happen next, if he would have blocked with both, I would have assigned all the damage to his faction.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Because at this point he blocks with only one character. If he would have blocked with 2, he would have lived. But he only blocks with one character, so I gouge it.
Big surprise. And it dies, and you are free to swing in for 5 at his faction.
Yeah, so he's down to 2 influence.
And
this is where I resource, or rather where I get back my cards that I played as resources earlier.
And you decide not to play a resource when you do that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure why. It doesn't matter. I have 2 resources left to pick up the ambuscade that I have face down.
And you also
And then I have 3 resources to play the ambuscade, which means that if he attacks, I'll just destroy my Deadly Striker and win.
Yeah, as a trigger.
Yep.
Since it dies from the cost. And there's a drive-by boobing on the Raging Basque, which, according to me, is the right play since he can't block it.
Yeah, effectively.
And his
unless he gets a high-speed guy, which he got.
Yeah.
So
he starts by drawing a card, drawing into a Phagocyte, drawing another card, drawing a resource, drawing another card, drawing a resource.
Yeah. But the thing is, he needs some way to handle the Deadly Striker.
By removing it.
Yeah, because if it gets to my turn, I can just attack with the Deadly Striker.
And he's gonna win. Since Bizze doesn't have any characters that's weak enough to not kill the Deadly Striker.
Well, actually, I'm not sure I would have attacked with the Deadly Striker.
I don't think you would.
Because I was afraid. Well, if he had only 3 resources open, because I don't want to walk into a banana peel.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, I think I could have lived with that since I could just pick him back up.
Yeah, that's true.
Now that I think about it.
But either way, I believe you did the right decision in keeping him on the field, since your ambuscade more or less guarantees your win as long as you have the striker as a possible blocker.
Yeah, actually, I think I should have picked up the ambuscade as well, not just leaving it there, because then he can respond to me wanting to pick up a resource. But I can't really figure out what real difference that would have made, since the only thing that I really want to use the
ambuscade for.
Yeah,
is to kill Deadly.
Yeah, and I want to respond to him removing it in some other way, and I can't really think of any way that he could have removed it.
Yeah, and Bizze just swings away with his Phagocyte Assailant.
No, actually, at this point, he just I'm not sure. He's talking about something.
Yeah. Either way, Bizze has at this point declared that Lekkit is the winner.
Yeah.
Understandable, since there was nothing else he could do.
Yeah, Deadly Striker, a very good card, both in constructed and limited.
Yeah, and that's all for this week. See you next time.
Yeah, have fun, play sports.
Indeed.